Beautiful. Awesome. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. Go ahead and share where you're joining us from in the chat. Portland. Awesome. So a little bit earlier there. Awesome. So is 6:01. Let's go ahead and get shaken. So I'm Kate. Hey there. You probably get all the emails from me. I am a real person. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I love whose ever cat picture that was. All right, awesome. All right, so it's just me tonight leading our orientation. Our chapter relations manager, Jason, he is out. He just got his booster shot. So he is taking care of himself. I think my shot's next week, so we'll see. So it's just me, but this is Jason. So my name is Kate. I've been at Csta for about 2 years. I do not have a CS background, but I feel like I'm slowly learning a few things. Yeah, I have an associations background, and basically I'm here to make sure that you have a great kind of introduction to CSTA, you know, kind of about your benefits and kind of getting connected to all of our resources and networks. So let's go ahead and keep going. My goal for these orientations is always to keep it around 35 minutes because an hour is a long time. You've been teaching or you've been at work most of the day, and I want to make sure we get in, get out, and get the information. So what to expect is this slide deck, the recording, and some resources I'll share out with you next week. So feel free. My suggestion for tonight is kind of absorb and think about what do you need, right? What do you need from us? Where are you trying to go with your professional development? And what is a problem you're trying to solve? So for tonight, like I said, trying to keep it under 35 minutes. That's why I looked at my watch there. So for tonight, we're gonna go over kind of the structure of CSTA, how we work, where we came from, some benefits, chapters, resources, and then if you're kind of intrigued about some of the programs I'm talking about, how to get engaged, and then some takeaway and next steps. If you have questions along the way, or if you're like, Kate, your cat is jumping in the background, is go ahead and, which has happened, go ahead and throw something in the chat and I'll make sure to check it. Awesome. Let's keep cooking. All right. So CSTA stands for the Computer Science Teachers Association. So I think full disclaimer is even if your title isn't, computer science teacher, is you belong here, right? Because you intersect with computer science in some way. Either, you were voluntold to teach computer science, you're an English teacher that's maybe helping with an after school program, you're an admin, you work in a nonprofit, you are here and we're so excited you're here. So I just kind of want to showcase these are some of our values. Over half of our staff was a former teacher. I taught several years ago, but not CS. And we have a complete board that is made up of teachers and a couple nonprofit representatives. And we are committed to equity in our community and for our students and the people that we serve. And it's a place to grow. So we always welcome feedback. So if you get an email or you're invited to PD and you have questions, go ahead and write us and say, this doesn't make sense, or, feedback, right? Is this is kind of a supportive environment for that. Awesome. So I kind of wanted to go over the structure of CSTA. I'm not going to open up these links, but we are completely we're a nonprofit. So we lead with a board of directors that's mainly teachers, and we have voting for that whenever the term is up. We have a complete staff of, I think, under 16. We're all remote. CSTA doesn't have a headquarters anymore. But a lot of what we do is association management as well as development for our CS teachers. And then we have a lot of committees that are completely volunteer led that help support a lot of the work that we do. And CSTA, like I said, we are kind of international in the sense that we're a membership association and anyone can join. But we primarily have members in North America, and there are 2 different types of membership types I'm going to talk about tonight. So if you're here tonight, either you found us or you're interested in kind of learning more and excited to go through that. So what to expect with your membership. I used to work at Rotary International, which was a structure of you join a club, then you're part of this association. With CSTA, you don't have to join a chapter. You don't have to attend X amount of meetings, and you don't even have to pay a yearly fee if you're not interested in that. What your membership is what you make of it. And we offer a lot of resources and PD that's out there. And it's my job to make sure that it's known about, right? So what to expect with your membership is like we have a lot of online resources that has really developed a lot during the pandemic of PD that's online, workshops, connections, networking, but also engagement opportunities that I'll kind of talk about. We have a really great team and we have a lot of resources we just keep continuing to like add to CSTA. So you'll see new announcements about scholarships, programs, career centers, all sorts of things, and that's just only going to continue to grow. Awesome. So this is just a quick slide on maybe you started to get some emails from us is things to note. So anytime you get communications from us, you can always unsubscribe at the bottom of the emails or write back to us. I'll just highlight a few that I find really helpful. So one comes out every Thursday. It's the CSTA weekly newsletter, and this one's regionalized. So you'd get information about CSTA and kind of what's going around in the country where you are for CS News. The next one's really good. It's called The Voice. It goes out to every member the first Saturday of the month. So the first one will be going out, oh my gosh, math. Also, how is it almost November already? Well, it's going out the first, it should be next Saturday. I got this. So this goes out to all members, and it's kind of a great summary of what's going on at the organization and some top hits of events, PD to look out for, and maybe scholarship announcements. So if anything else, I recommend reading this and kind of, reaching out if you have any questions about it. Otherwise, you'll see other communications from us if you're part of programs, if you have a CSTA Plus memberships, or if you're part of a chapter. Lastly, I highly suggest checking out our Twitter. So maybe you're like me and your inbox is a little scary and you're trying to get through, is on our Twitter, we have a lot of our updates and links to things that will prompt you to log in. So I highly suggest checking that out, as well as our LinkedIn, just depending on how you digest information. Awesome. So between this and the slide deck, I'm going to go ahead and show some things as well. But if you haven't already logged in, I wanted to show a few things on our website. So I should be screen sharing, and actually I don't have a lot of tabs. Usually I have a lot of tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and show, here we go. So you can see, I'm going to go ahead and show up here, is when you come to csteachers.org, is you can see I'm logged up here at the top. And I'll talk about the login as well, about what that means and things, but you can actually do quite a lot right now without logging in. So checking out benefits, looking at the Career Center, finding a chapter, resources, there's all sorts of things we'll talk about later tonight. But I want to show in terms of navigating is there is a member kind of login area. And most of the time, you'll be asked to log in to like register for events and get to some PD. It's not always required. So for conference, membership wasn't required, but most events require membership. So I wanted to show that website and we'll go through it a little bit. But things to kind of think about top hits on here is if you ever need to contact us at the end of this presentation, I have a couple emails, but we have a scroll down here. Let's go ahead, is we have a contact button at the bottom of our website. So if you ever need to contact us and you're like, if it's about invoicing, questions, or if you're trying to find someone, is this down here is a great way to do it. Or if you log in under quick links. Awesome. The next thing I just want to show before going back to the presentation is our events tab here. So it's a lot, right, to navigate in here, but top things is like contact us and then kind of look over the slides we have tonight. So we have an events calendar, and this shows national events and regional ones. So it's open to all. The only thing I don't like about it is I wish it was color coded, but you can look at it a couple different ways. So this is October. We're October 26th, and because I closed the orientation, that's why it's not on here. But you can see there's all these events going throughout the week. Some of them are national, some of them are held by local chapters, but you are invited to any of these. right? So you don't have to be part of the CSTA South Dakota chapter to join this chat. That is something that has opened up with the pandemic, is networking. I'll talk about chapters in a little bit, but definitely if you're interested in some PD that's going on, you're welcome to join. What's going to happen is you click on a link to something and it will prompt you to log in. So for example, I'm helping host this webinar on the 28th. I'll go ahead and open it. It's just going to prompt me to register for it. I find out some information around it, and I'll get an invite to kind of put on my calendar. So easy as that. My recommendation is, if you're looking for some PD, some networking, is this events calendar is really great. And you could also send it to someone else and it will prompt them to, become a member or register. Awesome. So going back to our slide deck here and keeping us on track, is I showed that website because you're able to look and find out information without having to log in, but you do have that login. So once I click at the top member login, it will prompt me to log in. And if you forgot your information, it's an easy way to kind of reset it or send me an email. I'll help you out. So from here, I just wanted to show a quick screenshot. Is you're able to manage information, but for the most part, maybe you're coming in here maybe once or twice a month to kind of get some PD or update information. It's really easy to edit. And if you ever need to kind of update your login information, here's where to do it. So you kind of click that red button, edit profile, and then moving on, you're able to kind of adjust if you move school districts. It happens all the time. We can adjust that for you. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to move on to types of memberships, and I think this will all come together in a bigger picture. So CSTA actually has free membership, and the way we do that is we want to be kind of equitable access, because we know teachers don't get paid enough. I think a lot of people don't get paid enough, but so we want it to be accessible to all. As you can see in this chart on the right-hand side, there is a column where it says CSTA Plus. So I think the way to think of it is twofold. I'm not a salesperson at all, but the CSTA Plus is you're looking for more PD and discounts on CSTA events, and you're looking to help support us. So definitely as a basic member, you're able to attend professional learning series, get PD, join chapters, you're able to do quite a bit. And then if you're interested in kind of continuing that professional development, taking it to the next level, is the access to recordings and PD is really good and really valuable. And I think a great example is with the Plus membership, you usually get a $50 or $70 discount on conference. So it kind of pays for itself. So other things to think about is with the Plus membership is AFE. So if you're an AFE educator, code.org, CMU, Boot Up, any of those, they'll usually pay for your Plus membership, and we can help you out with that. So I think just to think on here, I'll show some benefits and talk about it, but my suggestion is, what is something I'm trying to solve? I'm trying to get more PD. I'm trying to network, and think about what's of value for you on here. The last thing I'll point out is if you're trying to take the CS Praxis exam, is we have lots of things that are free and at a discounted rate with CSTA. So if you're looking for a course, we most likely have it at a discounted rate with Plus membership. So things to think about that way. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and show my screen. I think a great way to show an example of a basic benefit is, you can see I'm logged in, and again, feel free to ask questions, is you can see I'm on the website. Before I showed under the events calendar, membership, how to log in up here, is one of my favorite things on here is under the resource section, the professional development opportunities. And so what this is either organizations and kind of curriculum providers have reached out to CSTA to say, can you evaluate our PD? Can you evaluate our PD, not only in alignment of CSTA standards, but that it is kind of worthy for your members, that it's been reviewed and it's of quality. And so that's what this is. It's free to access, especially if you're a basic member. And you can see up here, so it's accredited through a volunteer committee. It's a pretty lengthy process. Is at the top, you can see that you can actually filter by different, I don't know what the word is, but different filters. So if you're an elementary school teacher, you're looking for something that is free, and if you need it in a certain format, is already, it kind of compiles these cards of information. So I like to think of this as CSTA already has done the work for you to find things that are helpful. Some of these are pretty well known, the CS first, but I think especially if you have budget requirements, which most of us do, this is a great starting place, especially if you're trying to kind of figure out what's next, or I'm looking for some free curriculum or some free workshops. This is definitely free and easy to use. So that's an example of a free benefit. The next thing I'm going to showcase is under membership that joins CSTA. That's where that chart is. So if you want to look at that again, I'm going to click CSTA Plus benefits. So I mentioned, you get discounts at conference, all that good stuff. This is kind of, this is where the meat is. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's been a long day, but this is kind of where a lot of that benefit information is. So I went underneath membership, CSTA Plus benefits. So I'm actually logged in and I'm a Plus member. So I'm actually not only able to see the cards of the information about benefits, but I can click view details to get more information. So I think a good starting place is, there's a filter at the top. There's about 20 benefits on here. I'm going to go ahead and look into CSTA 2021 conference session recordings. So this past year, we had, again, another virtual conference. All the sessions are available from that conference. Now that's a lot, right? But again, there's another really nice filter on here. So if you are just looking for content or sessions that is for you, or we also had an admin track, this is already kind of filtered. You can also kind of look at it through CS concepts, session type, and you can align it with standards. So this is really great, and you can search by topic. So we had some really great speakers as well. So my suggestion is definitely if you are interested, I'm happy to kind of like showcase some of the sessions that were available, but really great here is you could take 15 minutes after class to look at what's available here. Really great sessions. So that's an example of a Plus benefit, and it's kind of like these hidden treasures of just a lot of PD. CSTA does recommend certain tracks or courses to kind of start with, and we do that in newsletters to make it less overwhelming. Awesome. So to keep us on track, I'm going to go back to our presentation here. So I talked about types of memberships, things to do. The next thing I want to talk about is Csta chapters. I led with talking about Rotary because I think most people know Rotary clubs and things like that. Csta actually has chapters that are all over the world right now. We have under 100, and it's free to join a chapter, but kind of the pillars are, most of these are CS teachers, but it's also people from communities. Now, because with the pandemic and things being virtually, you could be in Chicago or somewhere else and join a chapter in Alaska and join PD events, right? I think the only difference is a lot of the chapter work regionally will be, let's try and get some policy changed. Let's try and influence this district on kind of some changes we want to make. Or even like CSTA Maryland, they had quite a few state laws that they changed. So welcome to join any chapter that feels good. Welcome to go to PD. And then if you're really looking to kind of invest locally, these local chapters are awesome. So these are the pillars: building community, having PD and support, and establishing kind of that operation. CSTA is here to support you through all of this. I will say what to expect from a chapter meeting is like taking home a resource that you can implement in the next few weeks and getting to know people. I think that's like kind of the best part, building that network. This is a quick screenshot of the main page, right? We were on membership chapters. Is underneath the chapters button, there's find a chapter and start a chapter. The find the chapter kind of button is you can look for chapters within your region, and you just do it by state initials. So I'll go ahead and show that real quick back on this page. Find your chapter. And this is a great thing is because I would shop around and see who has some cool workshops. I know New York just had a really great one. So I'm going to go ahead and put in, Massachusetts, search for it, and see that there's 2 chapters here. They each have chapter websites. And if you click view more, you can see that I'm logged in. I can actually join the chapter right on the page. And if I'm not logged in, it will prompt me to. Cool. So you can see their website, and they're right up at the top. join chapter. A lot of these regions have their own kind of regional conferences and things like that, and just really great people. Awesome. All right, so back to boogieing here. Beautiful. All right, so we talked about chapters. Jason is a really great contact for that, and I'll share his information after this. Awesome. So last thing to think about, next thing is kind of how to engage with CSTA is, I think we're all still trying to figure out kind of a balance of virtual, hybrid, and things are kind of normal. Is when you have capacity, is there's ways to kind of get back to other teachers, and this is what engagement is. It's kind of helping support CSTA programs. So I think a really good example of this is we have student awards that we've launched this past month, and it's helping review student applications that have done CS projects or looking at conference proposals for next year's conference. So if you have capacity or interest in things like that, is they can be really fun. They can be fun. CSTA supports you, and we love taking care of our volunteers with like swag and kind of celebrations and things like that. So we have a volunteer page. It's under kind of about CSTA, and you can sign up to kind of volunteer for things. So I'm going to talk about a few program things. Again, feel free to ask questions in the chat, and hopefully I'll get to them. All right, so we have a computer science honor society. We took this over from Code VA, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an honor society that started within high schools, and CSTA Plus members are able to become advisors of these societies. And the premise is really, 9 through 12 students, it should be student-led, and it's really about bringing awareness to CS. And it's not just celebrating who's the best at CS in the courses, right? It's about equitable recruitment. And if students have an interest in CS. And so this is a really great program because we usually have grants available through Google and other things like that to do things around CS Ed Week. So my suggestion is to kind of look into this. Again, all the links and things like that will be shared afterwards. It's on our website. Is look into this and see if it's a good fit for your school. CSTA has a lot of grants for this. They do great projects, and it's really about giving back to the community. And I think 2 examples that are from last year is during CS Ed Week, lots of high schools went in and did like community building with like libraries and middle schools and even elementary schools of like an hour of code and kind of talking about CS. So really cool things like that. Last thing is, like I said, we have Csta Awards. We have a student award, and then we have an award in January. Is definitely apply for it. It's called the Teaching Excellence Award, and we usually have around 30 to 40 teachers recognized with large stipends. And the premise is kind of talking about, what have you done to kind of help expand CS within your school, your community, and talking about that through an abstract or teaching lesson you've done. Some really great people have applied, and people have, applied a few years in a row. So we recommend giving it a go. I talked about committees, but most of them are listed on our website, and we don't have any openings right now, but usually we'll have some in the spring, I think, for the Professional Development Committee. Awesome. Next thing I'm going to talk about is annual conference. So we had our conference in July. CSTAs have been having conferences even before it was CSTA, which is interesting. But ways to get involved is you can join as a participant. It's planned to be in Chicago in July of 2022. Fingers crossed, it might be a hybrid model because we know accessibility is really important and cost can be a barrier. Ways to get involved, be a participant. You can submit a proposal. So this is leading a workshop, leading a session, and it could be a really great way to kind of get your name out there or kind of share your experience. You can also review sessions. Another thing is kind of watching the videos as a way to kind of be a participant and kind of sharing about that experience. So we're just the deadline for proposals is November 7th. So I will share more information about this, but we had, I'm trying to even think, maybe over 200 sessions at the 2021 conference. So lots of PD available, lots of recordings out there. Awesome. And then this again is just that screenshot of here's how we capture that information. So if you ever wanted to go back to a session that we had, there are a lot of really great ones on here and still really relevant that you could even share with your students or colleagues. Awesome. Next thing I want to showcase is we actually have a Csta Job Board. And so this is a job board for CS related jobs. I have seen a lot of things that are remote on here, and we have gotten feedback from members when it's kind of, sometimes not in alignment or the keywords don't work, but this is relatively new. It's underneath our membership tab, Career Center, and really great resource to kind of check out. And you can sign up for an email. So if you're actively looking for roles, that's a great way to kind of look for it. Secondly, a lot of times if you join a chapter, so I just saw this in Texas, if you join a chapter, those chapter members will be sharing jobs that are available and they'll send them out in emails. So really great way to kind of connect with people and kind of start, reaching out if you are interested. Awesome. You already probably got some emails about this. We launched a virtual community in July. This is another resource to kind of connect with members. We have all sorts of different ways to kind of control your notifications and connect with other people. But at the end of the day, it's, every CST member being able to share and network. And so we have lots of resources on this, but my suggestion is to kind of check out some of these links I have here. I'll share this slide deck. Is check out the public community. Everyone has access to that. There's some really cool PD that's being shared right now in there, and see what feels good, or ask a question and be able to kind of engage that way. Awesome. So we're doing great. I'm underneath my 30-minute mark, but I'll go ahead and make sure questions are being answered. So takeaways. This was a lot tonight. My number one suggestion is think about what are you trying to solve right now, and how can CSTA help you? So I would just say, kind of check in, making sure that your login information is correct, sign up for an event. If you need help with membership, I'm at membership@csteachers.org. Anything, reach out to me. Sometimes, it doesn't have to be membership related. We might be able to connect you with a committee, or if you have questions about sponsorship, we can figure that out. Looking at chapters, my suggestion is figuring out, what local chapters are near you, usually statewide, and check out their PD. And then from there is, think about what you're looking for, and, if it's worth kind of upgrading. I would say wait until we have a summit and kind of figure out, oh, this is discounted, or, oh, I want access to these recordings. That's always there, right? Awesome. So I think that's all I have for tonight. Beautiful. All right. Make sure. So these are questions that I missed when I was presenting. What is the Praxis exam for? That's a great question. I am not the expert, but from my understanding, the Praxis exam, it's kind of that, feel free to jump in the chat, but isn't that kind of that certification or license of CS, depending on where you are. And so people usually take Praxis exam kind of prep courses to get ready. And a lot of times people will purchase that so they're more easily able to pass that exam. All right, let me go ahead and look at that second question. I just received an email that I haven't agreed to the terms of use. Yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I got this, beautiful. All right. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the community to kind of navigate that question. So my suggestion is to go to the virtual community home. So go ahead and drop this in the chat. And then since I'm in here, I might show one other thing. So you should be prompted as soon as you log in to accept the terms and conditions. But if not, you want to hover over terms and conditions. I've already logged in and accepted. That's why it didn't pop up for me, but that's how you accept it. Okay, so you go to log in, it should pop up. If not, click terms and connections and accept. The last thing I'm going to show, since I've logged into the community, is if you want to control your notifications, you go to profile. Go ahead and open this up. You go to profile, and then you can see there's a lot in here, but you just go to community notifications. And then from here, you can see everything that's going on, right? So I'm going to go, you can see I'm part of a lot of communities. My suggestion is to do the consolidated daily or weekly. What this means is you can see I'm part of all these different communities is I would get one email that would be all these different communities, what's going on, or I could get it once a week, or I could not get it at all, right? I think best bet is some of these smaller ones are very valuable, but some of the really large grade band ones, there's not a whole lot of activity right now. So see what's it worth. There's a lot going on in the public community. And then you can see for certain programs and certain chapters, they actually also have their own community. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to ask me any other questions. I'm going to be on for a few more minutes, but yeah, thanks everyone. I will look out in my inbox for any questions, but otherwise the follow-up looks like this recording, a slide deck, and then I'd love to share, we just had a professional learning series about 2 weeks ago for a couple different heritage months. So I'd love to share that with you as well. But yeah, thanks so much. Any other questions I can help answer? Okay, great. Lively. Well, I appreciate everybody's time and have a great night. Yeah, of course. I traded my cat, but he has run off. Usually that gets a laugh, but thanks everyone. I will be available for questions. I'll go ahead and drop that in here. But we really appreciate everyone joining, and we will see you on the internet. Thanks everybody. Oh, yes, I will follow up in the email with the recordings. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Be safe.